All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. I know we're into the 10 o'clock hour, and if you're tuned in and you're usually watching the Georgia hour, I just had so many things coming out of the weekend that are so explosive. We had to get out here. A lot of it applies to Georgia, especially our next segment. I just had to do it. So I get up on Saturday morning, Diane, my mom was visiting. She is headed out, and I just really enjoyed having her. And if you don't know me or you're new to the show, on Saturday mornings, like I have these long weeks, and now Trump, I especially have long weeks. So on Saturday morning, I make a pot of coffee, and I will find probably the dumbest movie I can find or something that just takes me away where I watch a movie, not think about some things just for a couple hours in life. So I get up Saturday and make a pot of coffee, and my mom comes into the living room. She's sitting there, and she said, "Turn on the news." It's Saturday. I said, "Turn on." I said, "Mom, it's Saturday morning." She said, "I know, but Donald works weekends." Hey, Mom, it's Saturday morning. I know. Donald works weekends, meaning we don't know. We never know. So that was pretty good. So I have so much from the weekend and hours of research and study. And the tariffs are so brilliant. What Donald Trump is doing. Now, someone sent me a message that said, "Hey, how come Donald Trump doesn't clean up all these Hispanic protests? You see them out there, the cars protest by the thousand. It's surfacing. Everything he's doing is bringing it to the surface. Relax. Those protests, relax. It's all coming to the surface. So don't get concerned about that at the current time." Now, that being said, Diane, could you give me number 124? This is from Thomas Masse. I think Thomas Masse filed this right here, right? This is a 119th Congress, first session, HR899. And HR899 in the House of Representatives to terminate the Department of Education. Mr. Massey introduced the following bill, which is referred to committee on blank to terminate the Department of Education. Now, I agree with this wholeheartedly, 100%. We cannot allow Fauci to get away with this. We can't allow Biden to get away with it. We can't allow China to get away with it. We can't allow Samantha Powers to get away with it. We can't allow anyone in America that participated in this and what they did to your children to get away with it. We can't. We can't let them continue to harm or set our children back and just like it didn't happen. Can't do it. Now, that being said, give me right here. Hold on, Diane. Let's go with, give me number 86. And this was on 2/1/21. Education Department employees placed on leave for attending diversity training. Some federal employees at the Department of Education have been placed on administrative leave for previously attending diversity training. Several employees began receiving leave notices late Friday and reported them to their local union president at the American Federation of Government Employees, confirmed Brittany Holder, a deputy communication director at AFGE, which represents federal employees. Diversity, it is Black History Month. We have zero problem, okay? zero problem with you celebrating Black History Month. We're just not paying for the party just not paying for the party. There's no money in the budget for it. We didn't tell you could not celebrate it. Now, that being said, cleaning house, this came out. Let's see, where's it at here? I had it here just a minute ago, Diane. I have it here in just a moment. Give me number 92. And I put this out here when we opened up this morning. Now, the U.S. Department of Education issued statement on the nation's report card. This was January 29th, 2025. So this is the Biden administration, okay? Today, the United States Department of Education released the following statement in response to public release of the scores from 2024 National Assessment of Education Progress. Today's NAEP results reveal a heartbreaking reality for American students. Yes, a heartbreaking, and confirm our worst fears. Why would this confirm your worst fears now? And why would you be heartbroken in the reality if you go and look at all the diversity and what you've done with the education system and what you did putting masks on our children and what you did? Our education system now has the I'm not going to go there. I got to relax. Confirm our worst fear. Not only did most students not recover from pandemic-related learning loss. Would that be the pandemic or the plandemic? Would that be Rand Paul asking, did we fund this? But those students who were the most behind and needed the most support have fallen further behind, despite the billions of dollars that federal government invests in K-12 education annually and the approximately $190 billion in federal pandemic funds. They stole it. They stole the money. Look what they did to your kids. Look at every year, right? Every year, Georgia can come out and say, we're going to put more funding in education. We just say that. And school security and mental health. Oh, by the way, the damn kids can't read. School security, we're going to fund it. Mental health, oh my God. $190 billion in pandemic funds. Our education system continues to fail students across the nation. We must do better for our students. The Trump administration is committed in reorienting our education system to the fully empowered states, getting it back to the states. But that's just the bottom line, okay? Now, I thought I had one here, Diane. I want to see if I can find another one I had earlier before I move on to a video I want to show you. Give me 113, Diane. U.S. students' reading scores have plunged further on the test known as the nation's report card. While math scores have stagnated for 8th graders, it ticked up slightly only for 4th graders. They have stagnated on 8th graders, ticked up math and science. Wow, the best and brightest. But ticked up only slightly in 4th graders. demonstrating that the nation's children are still struggling to rebound from the devastating academic losses supercharged by pandemic. People should be in prison for what they did to these children. Absolutely in prison. We shouldn't let this pass. Why did Fauci need a pardon? Reading scores on the 2024 National Assessment Education Progress fell 2 points on average for both 4th and 8th graders, sustaining a steady decline in the subject that predates COVID-era disruptions. That we have paid for extra help. You know where you're getting more education money? ESL, English as Second Language. Here you go, number 14. The new NAEP scores dash hope of post-COVID learning recovery. Dash hope. Results from the nation's report card offer few positive signs, with reading performance slumping even since the heart of the pandemic. Look, I don't have a debilitating, I'll say it that way. I'm dyslexic. It's not debilitating. I get rolling and I don't see things exactly like you do, but at least I can read, damn it. Now, sometimes them syllables, I know, don't attack me. Don't attack me. Sometimes I get those 4 syllables. I can't get them all together. Anyhow, let's go with this one. And number 115, only 30% of 8th graders are capable of reading independently at the grade level. At the grade level. Only 30% at the grade level. Wow. So this goes right along with it. Parental rights, who's in charge, trying to put a mask on your kid, trying to jab your kid. Give me number 90. The government took rights away from parents to make decisions regarding their children's health. Parents were replaced by the state. Give me video 24, Diane.
We brought that lawsuit in May of 21, and we had been told that they were probably going to release it right around May or June. So we worked really hard to get it out. And in fact, they didn't release the shots to the kids until a few months later. Mm-hmm. So I know we delayed it by a few months. Nonetheless, the moment they rolled it out, you asked why they did it. As soon as the shots were legally able to be given to kids, you then in America saw local jurisdictions that took the power from the parents and gave it to the kids. So if a kid wanted to get a shot, but the parents were awake and didn't want to get the shot, them to have the shot, the kid was able to get the shot themselves. I think the age was 14 in certain local jurisdictions. That became very clear that this was Marxism, which is to take away the parental rights and give them to the state. The state was subbing in for the parents. Now, that's never happened in America before.
Legislation all across this country, including Georgia, whether they want to admit to it or not, are moving forward every day to remove parental rights in a backdoor way and install the state as the guardian of our children. We cannot let this rest. We have to end the Department of Education. They're going to come out, just like the tariffs, everything else, and go berserk. But it has to happen. We have to protect our children. Now, give me right here. They're losing it over the FBI. Number 5.
Okay. I gotta stop.
Yes, go ahead.
Just a minute.
Oh, put the graphic up. Put the graphic up. You know which one. Put the graphic up.
Yeah, just
if you could. I'm sorry, Diane. There you go.
So you just said that legislation is being implemented all across the state of the country to remove parents' rights.
Yes.
Okay. So if we're moving the Department of Education to the state, how are we going to stop removing parents' rights if the states are implementing to remove parents' rights?
No easy answer. You hit me at the wrong time at 10:34. No, you hit me at the wrong time at 10:34, and you brought up a discussion we got to have because you're 100% correct. Now, first, we do have to return the Department of Education back to the states. Then, second, we have to make sure parents are protected and parental rights are protected over and above the state, and that's not going to be easy. So you asked a question. I'm glad you asked. I do want to do the FBI. So I'm sorry I'm not going to dig a little further into that, but it is something we need to work on. I will tell you this, February 15th, 9 a.m., Truth in Education, Citizens Forum. Rhonda Thomas is an amazing person. She's worked hard for years. I think Diane knows this very well. For years, I've worked with her and Truth in Education on trying to get legislation passed in Atlanta, bring awareness of what's going on. This is an Ellijay on February 15th at 9 a.m. You say, well, how do we do this? This is a good start. Go ask Rhonda these questions. She'll answer them. Diane knows. Take these questions down there on that Saturday. Ask her. Put her on the spot. She'll answer them, and she'll give you the answers. Some of them are a little scary of what she's going to share with you of what's really happening out there. All right, Diane, give me number 5. Thank you for bringing that up. About 40 prosecutors who worked on the January 6th case are fired. Number 6, we are going to follow the law, the FBI said, and do what's in the best interest of the workforce and the American people. Number 7, the FBI staff involved in January 6th investigations to face status review. You've got till 3 o'clock today to fill out the forms. Let me see if I have anything else here on this that I want to put up. Hold on a minute. Just a couple more. Go ahead and give me. Well, I love shock and awe. Give me 33. Let's go with shock and awe while I'm looking for something. Trump and his shock and awe. So, anyone involved in the January 6th FBI. Now, what we do know, as they're losing their mind over this, let me get to something here, and we'll leave it on there. So, Black History Month, we're just not going to pay. There's no money in the budget to have the office party. You could celebrate Black History Month all you want. Let's just go ahead. Number 70. Now, what we know is they took, when I say they took our FBI, all right, Christopher Wray. They took our FBI. They took our Department of Justice. And they involved everyone. This was the largest investigation in American history, nationally. January 6th. They investigated from sea to shining sea. Every regional office was searching for you. Okay. So let's not forget, if you were somewhere around Washington, D.C. in that area, they went through, you remember, I don't want to call out the companies, but they went through your credit card bills. Why? Why'd they go through? They went through your credit card bills with credit card companies. Maybe you were within 100 miles within 5-day area of DC and you purchased a gun. They reviewed Americans from California to DC, North Dakota to Texas. Every one of them. We have to clean out. Now, Kash Patel is not in there, so he's not doing it. He's not doing it. But when Kash Patel says we got to make the Hoover Building the deep state museum, we have to clean out the FBI. People don't trust a single government agency. They don't trust any. So I want to play a couple videos for you on the FBI here. Let's see. Give me Face the Nation, video 15.
Yes, indeed. It's been reported by multiple media outlets that the acting director pushed back very hard and very loudly against the DOJ request. And reportedly, he may have been threatened with termination himself. Interestingly enough, both the acting director and acting assistant director would be on that list. They both worked Jan 6 related cases or Trump related cases. So we've got a potential standoff that's here. But yes, line agents did nothing outside of the law or attorney general guidelines. They simply worked criminal cases, in many cases gained convictions and guilty pleas. And if they were literally all to be pushed out the door, we would be talking about thousands of FBI agents. There's only 14,000 agents in the field, and we'd be talking close to 6,000 of them who worked such cases.
And
nationwide. This affects every office, FBI office. Instead of looking for terrorists, right? Gang activity. Now, how can we be looking for gang activity, identifying gang activity? It seems to be the FBI and Department of Justice, they might have been busy with something else going after you and I, the American people. Now, Warner, I love this. Video 11. They're coming forward and they're sharing this, and we're not shocked. Video 11.
To restructure the government. Seems like he's implementing that this week. So far, between the FBI and Justice Department, we've seen at least 20 terminations. Some are calling this a purge, but is it overstating it if we're seeing 20 people lose their jobs?
Well, if you are suddenly taking out the most experienced folks at Justice or at the FBI, how does that make us stronger? And what he's saying is every FBI agent that somehow touched the January 6th investigation, that was a comprehensive investigation. I've been told there were almost half of all the FBI agents at least had some involvement. Remember, this was a case that was taken up against these rioters all across the country. If you're suddenly going to get rid of all of those, that could be thousands.
Yeah.
What does that mean for our cybersecurity? What does it mean for our trafficking and stop against fentanyl and other drugs? What does it mean in terms of, serious crime investigations? This would be devastating.
Well, that.
What would that mean for cybersecurity? Are you talking about like where the Chinese hacked the Treasury Department before Janet Yellen left? What would that mean to cybersecurity? Are you talking about the 9 telecommunication companies that were hacked? What would that mean? Maybe the FBI, maybe they should all been doing a little more investigating on the drones and the balloons and, you know what that means? We're going to clean out the house. Every single thing. I opened up this morning telling you, every single thing Trump said he's going to do, it was all out there in the campaign. Now, they have till 3 o'clock today to fill out. Video 32. Survey says.
I'm sorry, what number I had to extend
32.
the time on a video? What one?
32. 32.
FBI agents are faced with a daunting demand. CNN has learned DOJ has given them a survey asking them to answer 12 questions about their involvement in January 6th investigations. This follows last week's firing of more than a dozen DOJ officials who investigated President Trump. Former FBI Director Andrew McCabe calls this latest development disgraceful.
Nowhere in my entire 21-year history in the FBI did I ever see anything like this, where employees are literally being rounded up for political reasons for cases they did their lawful and expected work on.
Round them up. Rawhide. Round them up. Rawhide. Move them out. You have till 3 o'clock today to fill out the survey. Survey says. That's right. Cleaning house. Now, this one right here, this may be my favorite one of the day. And then I've got a couple Georgia things I want to highlight. And then I got to get out of here. So listen to Warner on buying out the federal employees. They're freaking out because February 6th is Throw the Bums Out Day in America. That's right. So video 14.
Like Trump's potentially illegal offer to buy out all the federal employees, where we have no money in the budget for. But we had a great tragedy this week in D.C. with the crash. Yeah. We are already short air traffic controllers. If suddenly 2,000 or 3,000 air traffic controllers were to say, hey, I'm going to take this buyout, our airspace couldn't operate. And yet he's doing this so recklessly.
Is it being offered to them?
Without legal authority. Pardon me?
Is that open to, is it being offered to air traffic controllers?
All federal employees, my understanding went out to 2 million federal employees. This offer, which again, OPM does not have that authority to start with. That was who it came from. Right. But it is, I can tell you, with lots of federal employees, we got chaos on steroids going on. And we had heard from Trump's supporters, the OMB director, for example, that he wanted to traumatize federal workers. Well, that is happening. And these workers are the folks that inspect our fruit, our milk, our eggs. You know, what happens if they all quit?
So if you're telling me we have chaos on steroids within the federal workers, the bureaucrats, and they're traumatized, thank you, Donald J. Trump. Thank you. Once again, if you're telling me, oh my God, our federal employees are traumatized. They're traumatized. And it's chaos on steroids. Oh my God. Now, air traffic controllers, we are in desperate need of air traffic controllers, right? How many air traffic controllers were dismissed because they would not take the injection? How many? How many air traffic controllers, just let me know, were dismissed because they did not follow through with an injection, right? And supposedly this is unlawful. It's unlawful. But when Biden, we don't have the money. OMB they just can't spend money like this. Offer a buyout. But they can offer to pay off your student loans. Oh, yeah, yeah. They could offer, Joe Biden can offer to pay your student loans off. Donald Trump has them bouncing off the wall. We need our nominees. Doug Collins should be confirmed today for veterans, but we need Tulsi Gabbard, Kennedy, and Kash Patel. We need to make phone calls. Diane, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like for you just to go, don't go to break. We don't have time for a 6-minute break. And I know it's not the Georgia Hour, but I'd like for you to go put the Georgia Hour card up so you can have a clean recording. All right. Put the Georgia Hour and put the music up. Let me come back and do my 9 minutes of 3 Georgia things. So it's just by itself. Can we do that?
Okay.
Okay. Okay.